For years, I thought I was doing it right. I bought the premium bag, the expensive one, the nice label, and I felt like a good dog owner every single time I put it in Ned's bowl. Then Ned started getting older, and I got a little obsessed with one number, his biological age, how old his body actually is. Tracking that number became what I do now, because I want as many good years with him as I can get. And the more I watched it, the more I started questioning the most basic thing of all. Is the food in his bowl even right for Ned? I figured I'd answer that in 5 minutes. 3 weeks later, I was feeding him completely differently. It started of all places with fish oil. I'd been reading research that flagged some real problems with it, and I wanted to know which brands carried the certifications that actually meant something. The ones I could trust. The words on the label are mostly marketing. Natural, premium, human grade. None of those are regulated. What counts is whether an independent lab verified what's inside, and whether the nutrients are in a form your dog can actually use. Forms over claims. Let's hold on to that theme. The first myth was one I'd believed the whole time. That dogs are built for kibble. They're really not. Dogs evolved to handle starch far better than wolves. That's real science. A gene called AMY2B, published in Nature. That's an adaptation to starch from scavenging off early farmers thousands of years ago. There's no gene, though, for extruded pellets. Kibble is a 1950s invention. My dogs used to kibble. This isn't biology. It's a habit. So is kibble poison? No. Millions of dogs live long, healthy lives on good kibble, and anyone screaming that kibble is killing your dog is usually selling you the alternative. But it is the most processed food on the menu. High heat extrusion, around 300 degrees, which creates compounds called AGEs that are linked to inflammation and aging. And in 2025, a Cornell study on senior dogs found that switching to fresh food lowered those compounds and improved key metabolic markers in a single month. That study was funded by a fresh food company, and it measured metabolism, not lifespan. So I treat it as strong signal, but not the final word. My first instinct was just to cook for him myself. Real ingredients, total control. I priced it out. Home-cooked organic runs about $150 a month for a mid-sized dog like Ned. Pretty doable. But then I hit a wall. A bowl of chicken and rice that looks healthy is not a complete diet. Short on calcium, the calcium to phosphorus ratio goes sideways, and it's missing trace minerals and vitamins a dog can't live without. And he could run that deficiency for months before anything showed up in Ned's blood work or his health. So I kept reading. Here's the hierarchy I ended up with. It's ranked by one thing: how processed the food is, how much heat and machinery sits between a real ingredient and the bowl. More processing, more nutrition lost, and the more a company has to spray synthetic vitamins back on to make up the difference. That's how I look at it now. The top rung, fresh and gently cooked. That's the best. Real food, cooked low, just hot enough to kill pathogens, not the 300-degree blast that makes kibble. High moisture, easy to digest, nutrients mostly intact. This rung includes properly balanced raw and home cooking, but only if you follow a recipe built by an actual nutritionist. The cost, it's the priciest. It needs a fridge, and it spoils. The second rung, the one no one talks about, air-dried and dehydrated. Think jerky, not pellets. The moisture comes out at low temperature, so you skip the high heat damage and you still don't need a fridge. It's so concentrated you feed tiny amounts. If you're watching your budget, start here. Third rung, canned and wet food. Cooked hot inside the sealed can around 280 degrees, but packed with moisture. Good for hydration, picky eaters, and dogs with bad teeth. A solid meal or a solid topper. And the bottom rung is kibble. Extruded under high heat and pressure, dried down to about 10% moisture, then fortified with a vitamin premix to hit its targets. Most processed, driest, cheapest, but the most convenient. The bottom rung doesn't mean bad, it means most processed in this hierarchy. And the ladder tracks cost almost exactly. Now here's the rule that beats the entire ladder. None of those rungs matter if the food isn't complete and balanced. That's the whole game. Every essential nutrient in the right amount in the right ratio. Miss one, and the prettiest fresh meal in the world can still hurt your dog over the long term. And here's the number that stopped me cold. UC Davis researchers ran 200 homemade dog food recipes through a lab, including recipes written by veterinarians. 95% were short on at least one essential nutrient. More than 80% were short on several. A 2025 study using Dog Aging Project data checked over 1,700 more and found 6% were complete. Just 6%. The ones that passed were almost all written by board-certified veterinary nutritionists. This was never fresh versus kibble. Real food made right is excellent. The catch is that made right is brutally hard to pull off at your kitchen counter, and almost everyone misses, me included. The dividing line isn't the format, it's whether someone trained actually balanced it. So here's where I landed, and it's not all or nothing. A complete, balanced base, good kibble and air-dried food, or a fresh diet a nutritionist actually formulated with real food spooned on top, kept under about a quarter of the calories. Most of the upside, a fraction of the cost, and the diet stays balanced. For my own dog, I went further than that, but there's a specific health reason. And that's its own video. It's coming up next. So that's the framework. Less processing is better, and it costs more, but a complete, balanced, expert-formulated diet wins at any price. Whatever you change, run it past your vet first. Every dog is different. If this helped, stick around. This whole channel is about getting our dogs more good years. Now go give your dog a scratch from me.